Hey, welcome to For the Story, the podcast that's being recorded live from the bathroom as I have IBS. I'm Ash.
And I'm Avery. It would be so much more echoey in there.
No, we put foam pads all over the bathroom.
Specifically for the... Ash is definitely bathroom bound. Oh
I love that show. Remember Outward Bound?
Bathroom Bound.
Yeah,
the sequel.
The sequel, yeah. It's like instead of taking kids on an adventure of a lifetime, they take them to like a bathroom.
A toilet.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, there's almost everything. There's water. There's a place to go to the bathroom. Food. Yeah.
Little scarce.
Pick the weakest person.
Pick the weakest child. Oh my god.
That was such a weird show.
Yeah.
Do you remember that
I
show?
don't remember that show.
It was it was that one and Sail Away. It was like these two things where it's like they follow like teenagers. I think they were teenagers. They might have been younger on like an adventure thing in like Australia. One was like on the ocean. And
I think I do remember this.
The forest. It was like, but they like tried to do drama and like reality shows
like,
weren't that good yet. So
they're still not that good.
Well, like they know what they're doing now. Back
yeah,
then,
I guess
it was
so.
like the drama was like
It was like trying to be Survivor.
I was feeling kind of sick. Like
yeah. It's like Survivor, but they do it with children for some reason.
Yeah,
which is frightening. It seems illegal. But anyway, we're not talking about that.
Oh no.
We're instead going to be talking about
Herbie Fully Loaded.
No, we haven't watched that yet.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, getting closer.
Power Rangers.
No, getting a little farther away.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
So we watched a smattering of movies.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while, guys.
It has been a while.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we live in a dystopian society now, so it's harder to get yourself to
we were
record
busy,
podcasts.
Beating up patients at local Alzheimer's wards. I mean,
Weird.
Your Honor.
So we've been watching a ton of movies, some bad, some good. We saw some pretty decent movies and some pretty bad ones, but we decided on two that we're going to talk about today.
Mostly due to recency bias, where we actually remember these movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
So we watched the first thing. It has to be put out there, right? We watched Transformers 3. What was it called? It was like
Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of my ass.
What, because I'm shitting this entire episode?
No. God, shut up. So, Megan Fox was not in Transformers 3.
No.
So we started talking about Megan Fox. We were just like, what the hell happened to her?
Yeah.
And the answer is, she's not a very good actress.
No, she's like super bad.
Yeah. So we were just like, well, what else is there? And we've been watching movies on our friend Ryan's Plex, and we found Jennifer's Body on there, starring Megan Fox, and we immediately realized why she's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
It took 2 scenes for us to get it.
Yeah, probably less. We probably already kind of knew.
Yeah.
But we also came out of like Transformers 3 going like, man, that Australian actress that they were trying to Margot Robbie into a career was not
just
good.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I like how they just took all of the character traits from Megan Fox and just slapped them on a new person.
Yeah,
and they were just like, okay, this is the girl now.
Oh man.
And Transformers 3.
There's like the Mario, like the obese Mario Transformer.
Yeah, there was one. Why was a Transformer overweight? It doesn't make any sense.
And he had like a Target
he was like
icon on his chest.
He was like so like this, like for whatever reason he was like a fat Italian robot. And he was like, yeah,
I gotta make a sub.
Oh, my bolts is itching or something like that.
And there was blood, which I don't remember from the Transformers movies.
There was robot blood.
And it was red.
Yeah.
Why would it be red?
It was very weird. It was really interesting because, like, I had never noticed it before, but watching that, I was able to see, like, what they filmed and, like, actually filmed, and then what the graphic effects artists did in post. Mm-hmm. And it was like they just shot it, and then they just splattered a whole bunch of, digital VFX on top of everything.
Digital barf.
Yeah.
Like, there was, like, maybe 2, 3 really good-looking Transformers, but...
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is that in essence, they don't look bad. There was, like, especially when it's, like, more static shots, they tend to look
like
better.
The worm one was really good looking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the worm was really good looking. I think a part of it is like, every part, like, seems to have a purpose, and it all, like, when you see it more slowly, it looks pretty impressive. And I think that's why they did some of, like, the slow down shots.
Which were so confusing to me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, they wouldn't be slowed down, but they'd, like like jump over a hurdle and like land slowly. I'm like, that's not how gravity works. This isn't in slow-mo. Everything else is normal. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but I think they did that because in the movies previous, it was just like this blur of nonsense when they would transform, and it was like kind of hard to focus on. In this, they kind of made it a little easier, and you could tell that like the graphics effects improved between the first one and the third one, which was also kind of cool. So I don't know, I'll give it that. At the very least.
At least it wasn't the one with dinosaurs and or King Arthur.
Oh my god, that's the one we wanted to watch.
Yeah, we did.
The one with Mark Wahlberg or whatever. Or am I conflating two of them?
I can't remember because he took over at some point. I don't remember if it was at the fourth or the fifth.
I think it was the fifth one.
Okay, so
maybe it was
Shia
the fourth
LaBeouf
one.
Was in the dinosaur one.
I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't see any of those, so I don't know. Was Mark Wahlberg in two of them?
I haven't seen either of them either. So.
We need to answer these questions. It's such a fucking mess.
We just call Ryan on the podcast. Hey, can you get a hold of the last two Transformers movies for a science experiment?
Yeah, it is like a science experiment. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to find those, and we'll talk about. We should do a whole series retrospective
of Transformers. Yeah. I'm very.
We have one on the docket for Fast and Furious movies because those are coming to Netflix really soon.
Oh, they
so
are?
I think the first one through like the seventh one is. Is there an eighth one? It's called like The Fast and the Faded or whatever.
The Fate of the Furious.
Yeah, and then the ninth one, The Fast and the Finest.
And what about Hobbs and Shaw? Hobbs and Shaw is technically in that universe.
Yeah, it is, but that's like a spin-off episode.
Love spin-off shows. Remember Joey?
No.
They did a show about Joey from Friends, starring Joey.
That's
and
awful.
he lived in like what looks like a former Hawaiian restaurant. Like
and all of the next gen spin-offs.
Yeah.
Like Voyager and all of those are
Picard.
technically. Yeah, and Picard is so bad. It's like not even the same character. I've really heavy opinions on this. Let's keep moving along.
Okay.
Because we talk about movies here.
Because I want to talk about a woman's body.
Yeah.
By that I mean Jennifer's.
Specifically Jennifer's body.
That movie
was something.
It had so many
half-baked ideas just tossed in there. And man, Megan Fox sucks.
She
sucks.
And like there was like a lot wrong with like the script. Like number one, it starts out with Amanda Seyfried is like hot Amanda Seyfried, and she kicked like a lady at a mental hospital in the face, and then she goes, "Bet you're wondering how I got here."
Yeah, it was a lot of that, and we were like, "Great, here we go."
And like the voiceover was bad, and then on top of that, they never made you like Megan Fox's character. They like immediately made her.
That was the biggest problem that we saw. So the idea behind this movie is that Amanda Seyfried and Megan Fox are best friends going back to childhood, but Megan Fox was always the cool, hot one who was always stealing Amanda Seyfried's stuff, and Amanda Seyfried was the dweeby, like normal, frumpy one.
Yeah, which actually they did a really good job making her up like she's not fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly. Which was like one of the better things.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the case there, and but like what they should have done and what they failed to do is they should have shown like Megan Fox and Amanda actually being like
friends,
and then when she does get transformed into a vampire, a murderer,
she was a succubus.
A succubus. When that does happen, her personality needed to flip. So Amanda's like, something's wrong here, instead of Megan Fox just doing it and not telling anyone.
Yeah, and Amanda Seyfried's still going like something's wrong with her, but we're like, well, I don't know who the fuck this character is. Maybe don't give me that introduction.
She sucked the whole time.
Yeah,
which also kind of did play into the end. You know, she had a line that was just like, "You've always been a bitch" or something like that. So I don't know. It did kind of like land with the finality of it. I wish there was just a little more subtlety.
Yeah,
which that movie lacked completely.
From like soundtrack to like.
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about the soundtrack.
Like the MySpace emo music.
Yeah,
soundtrack.
It was like all MySpace music. There was the one. It was like it was a cover of something, and it was horrible.
Oh yeah, it was like a really whiny version of a song. It was just like
I forget what it was, but it was like one of the characters that Megan Fox murders is like driving to it. It was like it's like A Wonderful You or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the I see flowers green.
Yeah,
it was like that.
Song,
it was that song, but it was like done by like an emo punk.
An emu.
An emu.
Very nice.
It was done by an emo punk band. It was so bad, and we were like, "Yikes,
and then
this is horrible."
the guy was singing over it even worse.
Yeah.
And it
was out of sync.
It was. Yeah,
that's what it was, because he was like singing to it, and then they very clearly put the song in post, and they just didn't bother to sync it up, or like couldn't sync it up.
I'm just thinking maybe they filmed that scene before they actually got like the cover.
Oh yeah,
licensed,
licensed,
or maybe written for the You know?
Yeah, maybe that
Maybe
could have
they
been what it
just
was.
sat him in the car and had him do like emo versions of like classic songs.
It was just like, if you have diegetic music, it needs to line up with like the actor singing to it or playing to it. Otherwise, it looks and sounds really bad.
It sounds insane. Like,
Yeah, so that was pretty terrible. Yeah. What else is there to say about that movie? Because there isn't fucking a lot. It was pretty bland and just like, it was like a good idea and concept, but just like I said earlier, had so many half-baked ideas and ended up being
like
weak.
some things that I like the cast is insane. Chris Pratt's in it.
Oh yeah, very briefly.
Before he got skinny again.
Yeah.
Before he got fat again. He's in it, and like the guy who was in Yoga Hosers is the drummer, who is also in New Girl, who is also in Shazam. And he's like been in a lot of characters, and he's like a decent actor, but he plays like the guy in the band. I want to talk about that one scene where the building suddenly spontaneously is on fire, and it's so confusing.
Yeah, what happens? It's just like an amplifier like blows up or so. Well, like what the hell happened?
I don't like. Just suddenly the building was on fire and they had to run out, and then they kidnapped Megan Fox and sacrifice her.
And Megan Fox is just like a dumb idiot.
Yeah,
she she was just like, okay, I'll go with this band, and they like put her in her van, and in their van, and it's ridiculous, and she's just like not like even thinking. Like,
and she didn't have they didn't establish that she was drunk or something.
Yeah, they didn't. She just for some reason lost her autonomy, probably because they couldn't figure out a way.
Because the man who wrote the script was like, "Yep, this woman doesn't need
I
that."
guess, yeah. It just didn't make any sense to us. We were like, why isn't she like, no, I'm not going to go with you. That's stupid.
Oh, was this the one that was also written by the director or the writer of Juno?
I think it was.
Was that a different... let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, because we were like... There was some, like, production guy who was involved with something where we were like, this is actually decent. Like, why is the script so terrible?
Yeah, it's Diablo Cody. She did... I think... She did... Yeah, Juno.
Cool.
Which is weird. You could tell that they were trying to do Juno, but also didn't have actors talented enough to do it. Because, like, Michael Cera's used to doing that kind of quippy thing because he was on Arrested Development, and Ellen Page is fine at being deadpan, you know?
Yeah, dude, like, they thought that their script was way better than it actually was. Like, very clearly thought that they were way quippier with what they were trying to do than they actually were, and it showed.
Megan Fox, like, I don't think she's, like, a bright bulb. Sorry, Megan Fox. I know you're a fan.
I don't know. It's just
I feel like they gave her lines and she just like didn't know how to do them.
I think, it could come down to a couple things. Yeah. Either she's really, really gotten unlucky with direction, right? Like that could have been what happened 100%. Here. Yeah. Or she was like really hot in the late 2000s, right? And so they just like put her in stuff as a name and never really like learned how to actually act legitimately. Mm-hmm. So when she got a little older and should have been taking more serious roles, just kind of like fizzled out. People like, we don't care anymore.
It was like she was the precursor to the phenomenon of like models who became actresses. Yeah. At the very least, models need to.
That's always been happening, though.
Yeah, I mean,
she's just another one of those.
Yeah, but was she even a model?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know where she came from at all.
I feel like models have like a level of like physical discipline for doing like runway and posing that makes them okay at physical comedy.
I have no idea where she came from.
Like she is like a really hot like teenager who just went through a growth spurt and like doesn't have control over her limbs.
It's just awkward.
Yeah, she's just like bony.
She was like a noodle. I think that comes down to poor direction. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
It comes down to
it's probably partially her too.
Like
she wasn't talented enough to like own a role on her own and was directed poorly at the same time. So it's just this like confluence.
I just think about all like the sad waitress and waiters who live in LA, who want to be actors, who are like pretty much as good looking if you put them in right lighting and right makeup, who probably are more talented.
It's got to be like knowing the right people, being in the right place at the right time.
Is she related to 20th Century Fox himself?
Oh my god.
Her dad, Mr. Century Fox.
Probably, right?
They're like, okay.
Dude, did Fox like try to get a deal with her or something? Is Jennifer's is that a 20th Century Fox movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm surprised.
I'm not looking it up.
Do you think she changed her last name to Fox to get a deal with Fox? That would have been too good.
I think she was trying to get into the Fantastic Mr. Fox. She's like, dude, I got this. just
That
someone,
was years later.
I know, but she read the spec script.
She was like, "This is me. I got this."
I just like the idea of an actor who like doesn't really try to get into anything, but just changes their name to like, you know what? They're probably gonna end up making a movie about Nova in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
I'll change my name to Ash Nova.
That's great. Like, I hope that that's what happened.
Yeah, I just want to believe that. Okay. Anything else about this fucking movie?
Dude, I don't know. Like, it was one of those movies that seemed like it had a good idea and tried to break some conventions, right? Like, but ended up falling back on half-baked conventions.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really have that much to say or do.
Yeah,
And
like
it just ended up kind of lame.
they had a really great like detachable jaw, either prosthetic or CGI.
It was CGI.
Yeah, it didn't show it long
Yeah.
enough for me to get a very good look at it. But they really underplayed like all the demon stuff.
Yeah, they needed her to be scarier and not just like a shitty teenager. That would have been like
I mean,
a little
that's
bit better.
scary in its own way.
That's a different kind of scary.
I think about when I was a shitty teenager.
Just like, I don't know, they needed a better script.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and I think if they had a better script and they had tighter direction, Megan Fox wouldn't have come across like a fucking idiot. Amanda Seyfried did great.
Yeah, she actually did.
She's actually
and,
good.
like,
She owned her role. Why didn't Megan Fox? Probably because Megan Fox is just hot and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, and that's kind of what the character is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But like, give me literally anything from
Dude.
context.
There was
or-
like one like it was like when she was like talking to another male character and it was like doing the shot reverse shot thing, which isn't inherently bad on its own. It can be all right.
Yeah.
But like it went back to her and like the way she delivered a line was like the dumbest thing we had ever seen. We were like, yikes. And she did it a couple more times. There were multiple times when she was just like talking like she was a fucking idiot. And I was like, that's not acting. That's just being a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh no, this is why you don't act much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, God, thank God I don't. She's also early 2000s hot, and she's not like
Yeah.
the hot that
Yeah,
actresses
maybe.
are now.
Yeah, that's changed now.
Because
I
people
guess.
people have crushes on like people who have personalities.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
that's also why Kristen Stewart hasn't really popped
Yeah.
up. Is like she's very
She doesn't have a personality.
she's like deadpan, and that's awesome.
I think she'll
but-
take off. Underwater was a step in the right direction for
Yeah,
her.
but then she did Charlie's Angels.
I didn't even know about that. Who
Yeah,
knows?
oh, yeah.
Maybe she's just shotgunning roles. She's just like, her agent's like, I got you something. Do it. Take it.
I love it when, but like, yeah, I mean, she's really got a place, whereas Megan Fox is like deadpan in a way where it's like, did you just wake up before shooting this scene? Have you not had your coffee yet?
She looked like her character would have fit more in like a Mean Girls type movie and less in like a horror type movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she should have played like a side character in Mean Girls and not have been the focus of what could have been a charismatically driven role.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, someone that you would actually like and then would become like a demon because they tried to play on like the whole anti-hero side of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like how she was like this, you know, beautiful person who's also killing people. Like that's the thing is that like it seems like such a cool concept, but it's so half-baked and the script just kind of came across as like they're just like, well, it's not good, so just drop jokes in it.
Yeah, just
You know?
shove this
Just
down
shove
the drain.
bad jokes, yeah, and it just came across as kind of weak. But I don't know, I didn't hate it. Whatever, I didn't hate it like I hated Green Inferno. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Oh, I forgot.
we watched it too. Yeah, that's going to be our other side movie for this episode.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
We've watched so many movies. We're going to
Yeah.
give you a little extra juice.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
gonna
go a
talk
little
about
longer this
4.
episode. And then the big movie that we're going to do for this episode, we're going to do like our whole regular structure, pros, cons thing. We're going to talk about Ingrid Goes West, because that was actually a good movie.
Oh, yeah, that was great. That was a lot of
that
fun.
we saw. But yeah, let's talk about Green Inferno a little bit. Because Eli Roth, back to form with Eli Roth.
He's looking at me like he's Jewish. This is your fault.
What? That is not...
It's okay
Put
when
that on me.
it's okay when I accuse you of bald-based hate, actual anti-Semitism.
Might be taking it a little too far. But yeah, so Eli Roth directed The Green Inferno,
Which I dissuaded. I was like, Avery, we shouldn't watch.
and I was like, let's watch it because it's on Netflix now. I don't know why they picked The Green Inferno as a movie that they want to put on their service, but it's there. and you can watch it, and good fucking God, is that some of the worst shit I've ever seen.
You can watch it. You should not.
Yeah, don't watch it.
It's bad.
It's just like, I don't even know where to start. It was like ridiculous the entire way through, and like part of the thing that they were trying to I think he was trying to put forward.
It was a weird political message.
Super muddled. Sort of like it was kind of back and forth on its political message. Yeah. It was just like, don't be a stupid teenager and go to these impoverished countries thinking you're going to change anything because you'll probably get killed. But at the same time, let's not demonize native tribes. But then the native tribe just kills them.
Yeah, they are depicted as fucking savages.
Yeah, it's like what are you trying to say? And so it just didn't make any sense. It wasn't that it was
sense.
It wasn't that it was a weird political message. It just sucked. It was just like a conflicted political message.
Yeah, well,
and, I do like that he depicted our stupid teen kids as stupid teens who think that they're going to fix things in the jungle and then end up just getting held at gunpoint and just all this and eaten alive and all this terrible shit. That the comeuppance was there. If he had just stuck with that and just let it be a gory, stupid, ridiculous thing without trying to shove political stuff in there, I think it probably would have been better. But
also almost not giving it that standard structure, even though it does kind of divert. And the ending. Not to skip over all the other bullshit in this fucking movie, but the ending is she says that the tribe tried to protect her.
But why?
No, so that they can protect the tribe. But the whole thing is they do a Chekhov's gun at the beginning talking about female genital mutilation in the form of female circumcision, in quotes, because it's not a real... don't fucking cut off people's clitorises.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do that to her, and she was looking the whole fucking movie for a way to help stop genital mutilation, and she instead takes the entire experience and is like, well, I'll just save this one tribe that are objectively pretty bad guys.
Yeah. And the insane part about it is it's just after she went to the brink of death, she's going to lie to protect them. It's just it all goes back. She's just a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
the character's a fucking idiot.
She just goes to Colombia.
Doesn't even know. She just wanted the attention of protecting some tribe or something. Is that what it was? I think that's what it is. I think that's what he was trying to say, but it came out really bad because the script is terrible.
Yeah. Oh my God, the script's so bad.
Let's talk about the part where Junie from Spy Kids has weed. So they kill. This is my favorite part of the movie.
So
they kill one of their friends while they're all being held in this cage, right? Which looks very flimsy, and they could probably very easily get out of.
Yeah, she kills herself because she.
Kills herself with a rock or something.
Yeah, she slices her neck because she ate her girlfriend and she didn't realize it. Because for
some
reason, one of her girlfriend's tattoos is in the bottom of the bowl of food she ate. Just a piece of skin with her tattoo.
Oh my God! So she breaks the bowl. That's right, and then cuts her own neck. That's the first reaction she had. She's like, "I'm done.
Yeah,
this is it. Lights out."
I kind of get that. If my significant other, if I had eaten,
I'd be disgusted. I don't know if I'd just immediately leap to suicide though. That's insane.
It's a pretty dark moment.
Yeah,
no sense of getting out. But anyway, Junie shoves a dime bag of weed.
It's like an eighth. It's
not even. He got
so
at
little
the beginning.
weed.
Now it's he's got
it's
a couple
2 grams left, and he shoves it into the body of this woman that they're going to cook
in the plastic bag.
In the plastic bag, they shove it down her throat. It's the most it's vile.
It's gross.
And they shove it down her throat with a fucking stick or something.
Yeah.
This little amount of weed, they cook and eat this woman, and this little amount of weed was enough to get the entire 200-person tribe baked out of their minds.
Oh yeah,
because they're cooking it and the smoke comes out, and even one of the characters is just you think this Scooby-Doo shit is gonna work, and they're like, it's our best chance.
Is it?
And then it fucking works. It's dude, the script said how stupid the idea was, and then just threw it in your face and said, well, it works, you fucking idiots.
I think they made it work in the movie purely because they wanted the moment where Junie is making him laugh by going hoo hoo hoo, look, my fingers look like a vagina.
That's exactly
and then
what it was.
He's like, oh no, they've got the munchies.
That's so bad.
And
they've got munchies.
No, they got the munchies.
I can't believe that was a line. We were like, no.
And they fucking eat him.
Why Eli Roth? That's so stupid.
This is the dumbest I've seen Eli Roth.
Yeah,
and he writes some
Yeah.
This was my complaint when we watched Hostel, which is he doesn't know how humans talk.
No, he doesn't. There was some pretty...
And he'll be punished for his insolence.
Yeah, like, there was, like... That's right, I forgot it. This made me so fucking mad. It was like...
You were repeating the line for maybe 40 minutes.
Well, like, I forget what it was. It was like a girl, like, goes to, like, this, like, Save the Rainforest club at her college. It's the main girl.
Yeah, they, like, meet at a Pizza Hut. And, like...
or something like that. And they're, like, hanging out. And she brings something up. She's just like, well, why don't the natives just get jobs? Or something like, retarded like that. And then the main guy, who is, like, he's from Latin America. And he says, are you a freshman? And she's just like, yeah, so. And he's just like, because only a freshman would have such insolence. This is a guy in college. Like, who uses the word insolence?
To be fair, he was 40.
Yeah.
Like, that guy was a 40-year-old.
It's like, imagine going to a club and so the leader of the club calls you insolent.
Yeah. He looked like coked out Jimmy Neutron.
He did not. He didn't look anything like that.
Hugh Neutron, coked out Hugh Neutron.
It was definitely like one of the dumbest lines, and it made me so mad. It was like, I wish I could describe to the listeners how purely stupid it was. If you want to know, you could go and watch it. It's really
it's
fucking
within
dumb.
the first 20 minutes, and you don't have to watch anymore.
Like, who would write that? That's not how people talk. Nobody just uses the word insolence. You don't use the word insolence unless you're like an emperor,
or unless you're diabetic,
or in a. Or
such a bad joke.
Or unless you're like a king or like in a fantasy movie, right?
Yeah, it's some Dungeons and
Dragons. You will
be
punished for your insolence. It's like, that's what you say if you're like a coroner or like a
LARPer.
Yeah, a LARPer would use the word insolence. You don't use that if you're in college. It's the wrong character, dude. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, if he had maybe worn a tweed jacket instead of having friends that were definitely in like a Colombian drug cartel. Like,
that's right. He gets down there. And his friend, like, his hookup is like the sketchiest looking dude ever.
he's got like huge sunglasses, gelled up hair, button down shirt, and like a cross around his neck. And he's there. Everyone's like, just because he's rich and from Latin America doesn't mean he's a coke dealer.
But then I think he ends up being a drug dealer, doesn't he? Because he gets Junie the marijuana.
Yeah, he gets Junie the marijuana, but like, he owns a construction company, but like, you still don't have to dress like a coke dealer to do that.
Yeah,
like,
fucking ridiculous. It looked like he was about to go to the club. So none of these characters were real humans, and that's like the takeaway.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and you get to see Junie's penis almost
get
bit by a spider, and he tries to fucking shoot it.
He shoots it. And people are like, whoa, you see a spider?
And he's like, shut up!
He's like, shut up! And they don't like take the gun away from him. Like he just is frivolously shooting a gun in the woods. Fucking insane. It's so bad.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cheers to a podcast again.
Oh, you could actually hear it. That was
real
nice.
Good. Yeah.
Especially because I have a can.
Yeah. So we watched a whole bunch of movies. Fucking Green Inferno sucked ass.
Yeah. I watched Uncut Gems today. Super good.
I caught a little bit of it. It looked really good.
I'd be down to watch the whole thing with you.
Yeah, we got some stuff coming up. I do think that since we've been gone for so long, we should do like a marathon sometime soon.
Oh, I'm very down. What?
Yeah.
Just as long as it's not Saw.
No, I don't want to watch that. Yeah, that's just gross. Let's do Transformers.
Or all the Blackula movies.
They're all on Shudder right now.
Yeah.
That'd actually be kind of cool. I mean, we would be kind of... I don't know. Maybe that's not good. I don't know. Is that cool?
I don't know, but...
We'll discuss it.
We'll have to research, like, if it's, like, African-American made, or if it's, like,
I think
white.
It is.
Okay.
It might... Well, it's part of the whole exploitation thing, so it might not be.
Yeah, that's why I want to check before we delve into that.
That's why I'm kind of like, is that cool? I don't know if that's cool.
Yeah.
So we'll...
What a theme, but we'll see.
Yeah, and but yeah, I'm into giving some stuff a try. We're gonna do a marathon for you guys, but
I also watched Rat Race.
Oh, that movie sucks.
Smash Mouth is in it, you insolent fool.
You will be punished for your insolence. Fucking ridiculous. Green Inferno sucks ass.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a movie that well produced that's that bad, ever.
And it's weird because, like, it's definitely well produced, but, like, it still looked cheap.
I mean, the gore for like the one sacrifice scene was pretty good.
Oh, the one where they cut the guy's arms and legs off with like fucking rocks.
Yeah, and like so fast.
Yeah, they just like pretty ridiculous. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
That was the only fun part of that entire
also,
movie was the gore.
Wouldn't have wanted to watch a movie that was just that.
No, absolutely not. It needed to have
revolting.
something more than that to be worth anything, and it wasn't. The script sucked. The actors were okay at best.
Yeah, it was an ass.
Yeah, so yeah, that
Bunch of
movie's
no ones,
garbage.
too.
If I had to give it an out of 10, just because I'm feeling like being mean, I'd give Green Inferno a 2 out of 10. Watch it because it's terrible.
I'd give it a 1. Don't watch
if you
it.
want
It's
to,
really not worth it. You can watch 20 minutes of it and get it.
Yeah. If you want to watch what a failed attempt at making something with a message looks like, it's always valuable to watch bad movies for that reason.
Did you know that Eli Roth has like a history of horror podcast, which is like who?
I think he's a smart guy. I think he's just not very good at making movies.
I know. I wouldn't want to listen to like at least with us, we admit we kind of don't fully know what we're talking about. Like we have some ideas about certain things, especially preferences, but like this is a guy who like of the people that know about movies, would I want to learn about the history of horror film from him? I don't know.
Who knows, man?
It might be good. I might listen to it.
I haven't listened to it yet either, but that's kind of cool. It's like, I feel like he seems like a interesting person, you know, and he has made movies that are interesting. Like, have you ever seen Cabin Fever? Mm-hmm. Movie's ridiculous.
The newer one?
No. Well, we tried to watch the newer one, which was just a straight up remake and was like crap for that reason. Like, why did that even exist?
Yeah.
But it's the one from like 99 or 2000 or whatever year. That's pretty good. And like, I can't tell if he was trying to make something serious or try to actually make a joke movie because it's like bad in that way.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell. And I kind of like that it plays like a joke movie. So that's a fun one.
We did watch, because we watched so much since the last episode,
Yeah.
we watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was a fucking weird one.
I kind of like that one.
It was kind of good. Yeah. It was just very weird that they were dressing up Jennifer Love Hewitt like she was in a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie the whole time.
Yeah. That was like the end of the 90s, dude. That was the look. I don't know. That movie just plays like so many other movies that came out in the late 90s. And so I think that's why I was like, whatever. It was decent. We were just like, we'll watch it.
It was good background.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's great for that. It's one of those ones that you can put on in the background and play World of Warcraft during and probably
only that game.
Yeah.
If you play another game, you die.
Yeah. If you're not getting the full experience if you play a different game. So shit. The movie that we actually watched and really enjoyed. We did watch a couple, but the one that really stuck out was a movie called Ingrid Goes West. Starring Aubrey Plaza. Who was the director?
I don't know.
Yeah. Aubrey Plaza, Ice Cube's son, who looks exactly like Ice Cube.
I think his name is O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like got the same name as his dad too. Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah.
The littlest.
Who is, we found out, related to the Olsen twins.
She was the little sister of the Olsen twins, which like I guess it makes sense, but like
she looks exactly like them.
I don't know.
I remember when
like
you found it out, you were like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm not even surprised."
But like,
she looks just like them.
Olsen's like not
a super
uncommon name.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
true.
It could have just been coincidence.
Mm-hmm. But shit. So let's start out with some of the things we liked about this movie, Ash. Or if you have a budget.
I'm looking.
It was pretty small time.
Yeah, I know that it made $3.3 million. Came out in 2017. I don't have what the. I mean, like it did really well in the indie box office.
Yeah.
It had a really high per theater average. I don't have any information. I'm trying to also find out who the director was. Matt Spicer.
Okay. I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah. I don't know. He might be decent. He might not be. Looks like he did Flower, It's Not Me, It's You, Magic Camp, and The Ceremony. None of which I've heard of. Magic Camp was a Disney Channel movie, so this is. I'm considering this his first foray into making a good movie.
Yeah,
because until I know different, you know.
Yeah, so let's start off with some pros about this movie.
What about expectations?
Yeah, let's do that. I've seen reviews of this movie, so I knew a little bit about it.
Okay,
not like a ton about it, but I remember that it was reviewed fondly by I know Red Letter Media did a review and they really liked it. Mm-hmm. And they were like expecting it to be kind of just a whatever, but Aubrey Plaza is awesome. I was looking forward to seeing her in this movie because she does some like pretty. She's just cool. she's just a cool person.
Yeah.
She's not like the most incredible actor ever, but she does like kind of disassociative like female lead characters really well.
Yeah, I think that she's successfully capitalized on like the deadpan of Kristen Stewart, where she's like, and she's a very regular person, and I kind of appreciate that she's not. She's someone who I think has excelled in doing more independent stuff.
Yeah,
and I really respect that, especially because she was on a show as popular as Parks and Rec, which was a huge show. You know, 7 seasons,
7 seasons. So,
which is like much above average. I think 3 or 4 is the average for shows. Any other expectations?
Yeah, I think that's about where I leave it off. I knew that she was going to be good in this, and I knew that she just is a crazy person, and that's like really all I knew going into this.
I didn't know anything,
and that's why I was looking forward to it, because she does crazy person very well.
Yeah.
Like very well.
Yeah, I've been in love with her since she was in Legion, and she plays a man trapped inside of another man's head. But she's like the Shadow Prince or something. It's like the because like Legion's about the son of Charles Xavier.
Oh, cool.
Who grows up thinking he's schizophrenic, but really he has like a parasitic mind demon, and he's a very powerful telepath.
Cool.
The whole time. And so Aubrey Plaza is like his disassociation, and she did like some crazy things.
That's
and
fun.
It was the first episode you wouldn't like because the CGI is so unbelievably bad.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But once it gets into it, and like you figure out he's dissociating and he's working with all these supers, and it gets pretty cool because it's a lot of like traveling into your mind. And that guy from What We Do in the Shadows from Flight of the Conchords is in it.
Oh.
And he plays like an eccentric guy whose magical power is making music with his hands that does magical stuff. It's like fucking weird show. But I knew I liked her. I did not know that you had seen reviews of it. I thought you had never heard of it as I had.
I'd heard of it, and that's why it stood out to me, because it was on, I think it was on Ryan's Plex as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this one.
Yeah.
I
saw it and I was like, oh, that's Avery's color scheme based on the cover. It's like a blue,
although the movie
purple.
didn't really look like that, did
No,
it? The lighting was
like
a lot more sunny, very warm tones. It wasn't like that neon blue and red that's in the bright pinks that's really being pushed right now.
Yeah.
Excuse me, for all sorts of marketing. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Let's talk about some good stuff. We've already kind of gotten into it. Aubrey Plaza does a great job in this movie.
Yeah.
Basically, she plays a girl who gets out of some kind of. Well, it starts off. She's like going to some woman's wedding.
Yeah. Saying,
like,
why didn't you invite me?
Yeah, and it's just you're like, ooh, what happened? And then the next scene, she's in like a psychiatric facility. And you're like, what the hell? What is going on here? And then she gets out.
Yeah.
You find out that her mom died. Mm-hmm. And and you see her, the first thing she does is she gets on her phone and just starts obsessing over people's stuff.
Yeah.
And she ends up liking something that Elizabeth Olsen posted and like wrote a comment. Yeah, and then she responds, and then she's like, oh my God, this is now my new best friend. And you kind of start to see what was happening with the wedding. They kind of show it to you rather than like...
Yeah, they have like someone call on the phone like, dude, I didn't know she was out of the thing.
Yeah, exactly. And normally I don't like when movies do the whole like Instagram thing, the montage. You know exactly what it looks like. It's always, but this time they actually licensed Instagram to be in it, which is a little bit better. Usually they use like some fake shit that's like not real, and that's bad. I think that looks like garbage. But in this, it was a lot more palatable.
And just because of the way it was framed too, like it wasn't framed as like we're using this as a way to introduce characters or ideas. I mean, they were introducing ideas, but it wasn't like.
It was like, a little more exposition, like literally written on the screen in front of you than I would have liked. But the character was so strong that it kind of like made up for it. It was just like, okay.
I think it ends up paying off later too. Like if you had judged it in that moment or like immediately turn it off, you'd miss out. But like once you kind of get into why she is the way she is and like how like it's a justification for her actions later, and then Instagram becomes a whole smaller part of it. I think. Yeah. I mean, it's still important.
That's the thing is like her character is so strong that it's almost like you're kind of sucked in. Even though stuff like exposition like that. It wasn't like really over the top expositional or expository.
It wasn't like Yoga Hosers where it's like hashtag
literally
principal.
A character would come up, they would freeze the frame, and then like
that's my dad.
Fucking vile.
Yeah. No, it was more. It wasn't like that. It was more just like showing the pictures.
It was showing what she was like doing. It was kind of like displaying her thought process a little bit, which I think was a little bit better.
Yeah, and then also it plays into like her stalking. Like it works really well for that, and like actually showing that is a good way of going instead of like. Because if they didn't show it to you, she would have had to exposit it a different way that she was
which
following.
probably would have come across as pretty clunky. So there's no real healthy way of getting that across. I think the way they did it was probably the most palatable. But they did a lot of the thing where it was like they showed like her ex-best friend's wedding, and it was just like #blessed, love another beautiful day with my partner in crime, or something like that. And like it was about like her ex-best friend's wedding and stuff. That stuff made me want to barf. But that is a little short-lived, and then they get into Elizabeth Olsen's character and they kind of do the same thing, which I think was a good move.
Because Aubrey Plaza inherits like $60,000 from her mom.
Yeah, so her mom passed away. And what she says later is like, she was my best friend. I feel like I lost my best friend. So she starts latching on to other people and literally stalking them.
Yeah.
And she decides when she inherits this money, she gets it all taken out of the bank in cash and moves to Los Angeles.
Yep.
With no friends, anybody. And she rents an apartment out there. And the catalyst for this is that Elizabeth Olsen's character comments back to her and says, next time you're in LA, come and check this avocado toast place out.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I'm going. Because she's like, I got a new best friend.
Yeah, I got an invitation.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. And so there's, it kind of just like, there's no like montage or anything clunky. I think she's just there.
Yeah. They kind of pan out and she's on the beach.
Yeah.
And like changes her Instagram handle to
Ingrid Goes West, which is the title of the movie. And she starts Instagramming stuff and hanging out with Elizabeth Olsen. Or no, she follows her around until she gets to like...
She finds her house, finds out she has a dog, and kidnaps it.
Kidnaps the dog. This is just so awesome. She's so insane. And this is just like the beginning of it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great, but she breaks into their house, kidnaps their dog. They're just like, if anyone's seen my dog Poopsie or whatever his name is, bring him back. And so she brings the dog back to start like hanging out with Elizabeth Olsen and Wyatt Russell, and like they're just like, you're awesome, like you're very cool, but it's all like based on this like foundation of lies.
Oh yeah, and
which I really like.
And she just keeps extending it. She buys Wyatt
Goes
Russell's fucking art that's really shitty. That's like. You know, like bro gang with like a cloud background,
it's a hashtag on it or something. Yeah. It's just like nothing.
It's like hashtag blessed with like mountains. It's like so dumb.
It's like so just benign. It's like tasteless art. Like he's not good, and like that's like kind of an undercurrent. Like this is another. I compared this a lot to Under the Silver Lake, and because it's another movie where Los Angeles is very much a character.
Oh yeah, and we were in that area of Venice. Like we walked past. Where
there was like one place that she was walking past and it was like, oh, we walked past that.
Yeah
and so I thought that was cool, but Los Angeles was such a character in this, just like it was in Under the Silver Lake, but they show you the people of LA a little bit better in Ingrid Goes West.
I would agree in a sense. It's more concentrated, whereas you get a wide variety of characters that go in and out of frame because having characters establish themselves in Under the Silver Lake would kind of take away from the aesthetic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the main character in Under the Silver Lake was Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Los Angeles was a backdrop here, but it was pretty strong.
Especially because they were out of LA a lot. They were in Joshua Tree, which is like a super popular place to go out in the... out east.
But the characters, it was like she starts like hanging out with these people and finding a little bit out about like their personal lives, and like she's taking pictures of like her medicine cabinet and like finding out like all the stuff that Elizabeth Olsen like takes, or like whatever face cream she used because she wants to become her. I thought that it was going to go a little farther.
I thought that she was going to
like steal Wyatt Russell, right, or like try to, or something like that, but that never ended up happening. They kind of like tease you with that a little bit. Thank God, that would have been kind of clunky, maybe. I don't know.
I think that
like as a breaking point, maybe that would have been good.
It would have been good, yeah. I mean, it would have been equivalent to the actual like tension that was drawn out in the middle with the term with the brother.
Yeah.
Where if she had like tried to kiss Wyatt Russell and he wasn't into it, and then that could have given you the same thing. But
they could have maybe combined those two characters. Although they kind of like used Wyatt Russell to show you like some people live this LA lifestyle or want it so bad, even though they're not really creative or talented at all.
And like they change themselves so fundamentally that he can't recognize his own wife. But I do want to, before we kind of get into that latter half of the movie, talk about O'Shea Jackson Jr., Little Cube, as no one calls him.
As we're calling him. Dude, it was like so funny because when I saw him, I was like, oh, is that him? And I think you pointed out, you're like, that's Ice Cube's son. And then I didn't see it at first. And then he like made a facial expression that was exactly like Ice Cube. I was like, wow, they look really similar.
Incredibly similar. And like he played him in that biopic, which, you know, obviously you have no fucking interest in seeing, but I will force you to watch at some point because
I've heard it's pretty good.
It's really well done. They got all the actors look really a lot like.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
like,
cool. Well casted.
Really well casted, and I think you'll just appreciate how crazy it is. But anyway, his whole character. It's amazing that they pulled it off and are so self-aware about it, is that he likes Batman.
Oh, it just keeps coming back. That's like almost the only character trait. And also that he's just like a good dude.
Yeah, he's
like,
just a solid guy.
He's just a good guy who's just like you know, Ingrid's just totally insane, but he just gets roped into her shit because she's like constantly doing totally nuts stuff and lying to everyone around her to like perpetuate this reality that she's built, like hanging out with Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh yeah,
and like that she is that lifestyle.
Like I think the best moment of his is when they go to the party because they don't believe that her boyfriend is real because he's not. They weren't dating until like they hook up.
Yeah.
And she's like, just don't talk to him about Batman. He's like, what am I supposed to talk about then?
It's so good. And then like the sex scene where she pretends to be Catwoman, and he says something like, tell me I'm like the city's last hope or something like that. Something great like that. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that whole sex scene's hilarious. He's like, no one ever did that for me before. And I'm like, yeah, of course. That's
so
insane.
Funny. It's funny, but it's kind of like adorable.
Tell me I'm Batman.
It's kind of adorable. It's just like, oh, that's just what he loves.
And his whole rationale is like he was an orphan, and so he wants to be Batman. But like also,
oh, I didn't know about that.
Oh, you might have.
I might have missed that.
Yeah,
but that he was a great character. I love how they almost like. It was very self-aware. It's like they just reduced him down to that on purpose.
Yeah,
it's just like, how often have you like known someone or had a friend who like that's the only thing they bring up, like, and that's all they want to talk about, like me with Star Trek.
What?
No, like me with Meshuggah. There we go. You ever heard of them?
No, let's listen to them. Let's do it.
Anyway, but yeah, so great character.
Yeah,
fucking great. And she steals his truck overnight after promising she'll like be at his Catwoman reading and just ditches, and he calls the police,
and she like gets on coke. She does all the coke in his car,
steals his cocaine, and like there's like a gun in the glove compartment, and she goes to hang out with Elizabeth Olsen, and she like opens it, she's like, oh my god,
it's my boyfriend. That's when the boyfriend life starts.
Yeah,
and like fucking. Oh, and the scene where the like something happens, I think the engine dies or something, and they go to the car shop, and then they make the car shop guy lay on the ground to take a photo.
Oh yeah,
and I'm just like,
so Los Angeles,
it's just so fucking vile.
Self-obsessed. Like,
oh my god,
it's a great. I love that her lies just like layer, just digging herself deeper and deeper into this web of lies she's created about her life, and it's like. It's one of those things, and I think as the audience you're supposed to get this reaction, but I love movies with characters who are so like far gone or dissociating that you keep seeing the things that they're doing and you're like, just come clean, just stop lying, just please, because it's like starts to become painful.
I mean, you can't like get out of that situation without like saying, hey, I kidnapped your dog so I could be your friend because you
don't even need to bring that up. Just come clean and be like, look, I didn't have any friends when I was here. You're the first person who showed me compassion. Like, I kind of wanted to be you. I look up to you. Yeah. And like, you know, you can do that tactfully, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, why not do that? Like, why not just stop lying? Just stop lying.
Well, she's found out, and we should probably talk about that portion of the movie because I think it's really interesting. Number one, Palm Clementoff, who is Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy, plays a model.
Oh yeah,
and
this is when she finds out that Elizabeth Olsen has been telling all these famous people that she's sure her boyfriend's fake or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And
she's
her
like,
brother's
oh god,
there now, and her brother just looks like
the
date rape.
worst. Yeah,
He just looks like date rape.
He looks like the most uncomfortable person to be around. I'd be like, no thanks, later, dude.
Yeah, this is a guy who doesn't own a shirt.
Yeah, like I'm not into hanging out with you anymore. You stress me out just like watching that guy. It's like, because you've seen that guy, like definitely like maybe a sociopath or a psychopath, and it's just like, you would murder someone if it made you look good, wouldn't you? Have you ever seen that? Like, you could just see it in their eyes.
I mean, isn't that what Jennifer did in Jennifer's Body? She murdered people to make herself look good.
Like, literally, that's what happened. Like, there's no subtlety in Jennifer's Body. So, it's great. Like, this movie had some, like, really, like, dude, but let's talk about that brother character for a little bit. So basically what happens, he catches Ingrid putting, it's a really quick cut. It's really cool that they added it in, but he catches Ingrid putting her code into her phone, and then notices that it's his sister's birthday, steals her phone, and then holds her phone for ransom.
Because she has the fucking photos of her medicine cabinet.
A medicine cabinet and like other insane shit like notes and like following Elizabeth Olsen around and stuff. And then Ingrid concocts a plan to kidnap the brother. I forget what his name is.
It's like Brent,
it's
or like Chad,
like
or
Kenny or something like that, right?
Bradlin.
Yeah, it's like Skylar or something like that. And and so
picture any blonde guy from any frat house from the college you went to or have seen in a movie, and that's him.
Yeah, you've seen this guy before. So she ropes Lil Cube into kidnapping Skylar, and then they kidnap him and then put a bag over his head, and then they're gonna beat him up and leave him all the way out in the desert and say, leave Ingrid alone. Yeah. But he knows who these people are, like, immediately.
Yeah, because, like, who else
would it be?
Exactly. At least he wasn't being dumb. Like, I appreciate that they did that.
No, he's not a dumb character, even though
he's
conniving.
Think, like, he's not dumb.
Yeah, exactly. And like, he's someone who you would think would be dumb, but there's like a point where like they're gonna beat him up, and he's just like, this bag is see-through, like, I know who you are, like, this is ridiculous. Like, who else would this be? And so they beat him up and leave him out in the middle of the desert, and that's when like things break, and like they start to find out, Elizabeth Olsen and Wyatt Russell find out that she's been lying about all this stuff.
And she goes off the deep end. She starts just leaving message after message.
Yeah.
And like Wyatt Russell keeps like being like, dude, fuck off. Like, stop. And
it's just like, I keep thinking it's just like, there's like two logical ways to go about this. Either just fucking stop. Right? Just like leave it be.
Yeah.
Just be like, okay.
Find a news person to stalk.
Yeah, or just like start building your own life. Just like be like, okay, you have failed like this time.
A boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, like start living your own life. Like, it burned you this time, but no, she goes off the deep end. She buys a house in Joshua Tree.
Right next to theirs.
Right next to theirs, which is the Olsen-Russell couple. And like starts just following them from there. She ends up trying to kill herself after a really bad night. She like confronts them, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
She like has run out of money, and wakes up in the hospital. And Ice Cube has decided that
he's cool. He's like the best dude.
Yeah.
And so
it's what Batman would have done.
Yeah, like the realest person the whole time.
Oh yeah, and he also beats up the mentally ill.
Wait, what?
It's the Batman joke, 'cause that's what he does professionally. He beats up the mentally ill and the poor.
So yeah, and I don't know, man. It's just like this movie. It's like one of those things, and I love. I know I mentioned this already, but I love those movies where they give you a character who is so nuts that you're just like, just stop, just do the right thing.
Yeah,
just stop. Like, you're in too deep. Just make the right decisions. It reminds me of this show, and it wasn't a great show or anything, but it was called The Increasingly Poor Decisions of Todd Margaret. It had like Will Arnett and David Tennant, I think is his name. No, the guy, David Cross?
David Cross.
Yeah, the bald guy from Arrested Development, Tobias.
You waiting for me to make a joke?
Yeah, I am.
How you hate bald people? He called me a bald the other day.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Although I am getting more comfortable making bald jokes because you set me up for them so much.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of starting to be self-actualizing. You gotta stop. I'm in too deep, dude.
I just want us to walk by a bald guy and you just mutter under your breath, disgusting.
Disgusting.
No, because here's a little story from your job where I've told him the story of how a friend of the show, Spencer, from Idiots Discuss the Universe, told me that I wasn't people with hair at the gym one time when I was going bald. And I told the guy at the bar that he wasn't people with hair, and then
he was like bringing it up though.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, I wasn't just like bullying some guy. Yeah. That was a different guy.
Like bringing it up. He was just like, "What do you think? Like my hair? What should I do with it?" And you're like, "You're not exactly people with hair," or something like that.
And then you came up and independently told him that, and it was amazing.
He was like, "That's what he said," and you like died and did like a lap around the whole bar. It was just like, oh man. Yeah, he was just like, what should I do with it? Should I keep growing it? And we were like,
should I grow
out
this mullet?
Yeah, you could grow a mullet, like do the skullet thing, or you could just shave it. Like, whatever, it's up to you, man. It's your hair, or whatever's left of it.
And I ran into that guy again.
He's a nice guy. Yeah. I had never met that guy before. I know he had come in there before.
Yeah.
Regardless.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
Any other big pros that you want to talk about when it comes to this movie?
I don't know. It just had an atmosphere. It had like... I was so invested in Ingrid's character. You know, like she was just so nuts and making such poor decisions that it was like it was hard to look away.
Yeah,
she was great when she was on screen because you knew she was going to make the wrong decision, and it was just really interesting to see that kind of character.
It was great that she was constantly on screen because she was the POV.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really interesting because often enough when characters like that are in a movie, they do unreliable narrator type stuff, but they didn't even bother with that.
No.
They were just like, she's making bad decisions. Here's the movie. And I thought that was fucking awesome.
It was really good. Yeah.
So, yeah. How about you? Any final pros?
I think aesthetically this movie did LA a lot of justice from like a very different perspective. Like, looked like LA, was super LA.
And very much that Instagram LA sheen.
Yeah.
That they tried to show you.
Boutique
just, stores.
Like, that's like a place that was like 5-6 minutes from my house, you know, without traffic, which never happened. But, you know, and it's definitely cool to see parts of LA in a movie that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Instead of just wildly speculating that somewhere is LA when it turns out to be British Columbia, Avery, every time.
Dude, like, I always think it's San Bernardino or like that eastern part of LA where it's like really deserty.
Yeah, so we have a joke in the house now that whenever Avery thinks someplace is in LA, it's automatically Canada. Like,
probably it's just like it's probably Vancouver, and I think it's because people get a lot of tax credits for shooting in Vancouver. So. Like, I know Deadpool was shot there, but Deadpool's also Canadian, so who knows at this point.
Because the character's Canadian?
I think Deadpool is Canadian, yeah.
I think that might just be Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, is Ryan Reynolds Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe so.
If I'm wrong, don't tell me.
I don't know.
I can't really handle any criticism right now. Thanks. And I will take it as criticism.
I think part of it is what it is that parts of Vancouver can kind of pass for like Los Angeles.
Sure.
But like honestly, Vancouver looks like a lot of cities, so it gets used a lot, and also you get awesome tax credits for shooting there.
I also think that a lot of Hollywood movies have moved over there, which kind of has. Like, the transition has made it seem as though Vancouver is LA because they are Hollywood films that are coming out of there.
Could be.
You know, so it's like you see it so often in movies that you begin to conflate the two.
Yeah. It's all, you know, Pacific Coast stuff.
Yeah.
It kind of tends to look very similar. The city designs all very similar. You know, a lot of the ecology is very similar. But, yeah. So, who knows? But, yeah. I liked that a lot. Do we have any cons? Like, what cons should we bring up?
I do. I'm not sure how I feel about the ending message. The notion that she records a suicide video and then that's rewarded.
Yeah.
Because
it's a little dark.
It's not just dark. It's kind of what I don't like about social media, which is like the weird self-preservation-y kind of like performative victimhood thing.
Performative victimhood is a great way of putting it.
Because I don't... the fact that she's rewarded with not only does she get like the boyfriend back, she gets a bunch of
thousands of followers.
Yeah, it's like a good thing for her life.
Yeah.
I guess it fits into the general theme of like she kind of makes wrong decisions and it goes well for her most of the time.
Yeah.
And that is a theme in the movie, but it left me with a bit of a sour taste in my mouth.
It's that, and it's also like, so is she healed now?
She's not.
It's like she's just going to go back to doing the same thing, which is like kind of dark. It's like, and also she's been lying to everyone around her the entire movie. And it's just like
she's most honest with O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Exactly. Yeah. And like the idea is like maybe this will go the right direction for her, but like she clearly needs some pretty serious mental help.
Yeah. And she was institutionalized and it didn't help. Yeah, so it's like it's pretty bad.
Exactly. And so it's just like the glorification of self-obsession like via social media is probably one of the biggest problems, and it really ends on that note. Like it would have been like a little ballsier almost if she died, right? Like,
I mean, I just don't know if any of that end part needed to happen.
Yeah. I don't know what a better ending would have been.
Neither do I. That's like the confusing thing for me. But it's like
she can't really be redeemed.
No,
and like that's kind of the point of the character. Is like
I don't know if she needed to attempt suicide to make her sympathetic again. I feel like they were trying to force that a little bit.
But they did really like seem like she's being rewarded with all of these fans now because she tried to kill herself on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it did
weird.
Not end up good. I that's probably like the worst part about it, but you can kind of see it, and it's like it's kind of leaves it on like a question mark, like is she gonna get better now and do the right thing and like be around people who aren't so toxic, and stuff like that, and be less toxic herself. And but who knows? Honestly, it's open to interpretation, which I kind of like. But at the same time, it does really glorify that.
Yeah, it does, and it's not something that I care to speculate about whether or not she got better or not. Yeah. I don't think that this movie, for me at least, inspired me to care about whether or not she got better.
Yeah,
because she kind of had run the gambit in terms of kind of unforgivable, insane things that she did.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, like she's not really sympathetic. She needed a moment at the end to become sympathetic and ended on that note because it would have given it a level of hope.
Yeah,
for her as a person,
which I think they kind of succeeded with. But I think you're right. I think it's just like she had done some pretty, like irredeemable things, and like. I think like having her try to kill herself at the end was an attempt to get her to feel sympathetic again. I think it was more of a reminder of like, remember, she's done terrible things, but this is a seriously mentally ill person.
Yeah, I get that. I could have liked if she had a turnaround where she was able to reconcile with the original person whose wedding she crashed.
Oh yeah,
that could like she's at the lowest point in her life, and then she's able to reconcile with that person.
Yeah. And they kind of drop like little moments where she's like trying to communicate with that person again and stuff like that. They use it to forward the plot a little bit and like kind of like show how that past relationship that wasn't shown on screen is a lot like her relationship with Elizabeth Olsen. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. It did seem to end on an odd note.
Yeah,
for that reason.
This is the problem with like most movies. Most movies don't know how to end themselves.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think that was probably the best possible ending that could have come out of it.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, given the circumstances. Yeah. It's just like she did come across as pretty irredeemable, especially towards the end, and you're like, why aren't you making the right decisions? But then it does at least attempt to like remind you very forcefully that this is a sick person.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of what they're... But then they turn it around and they're just like, oh, she's alive, and also millions of fans, and also she gets the boyfriend. Yeah. So it's really rewarding her for this self-obsession, which is a little gross.
Yeah, because like... I personally thought that the moment at the end when she confronts Elizabeth Olsen for the last time was going to be the moment that she's like redeemed, or at least is able to
come clean,
or come to terms with what's going on with herself.
Yeah,
and then they kind of shoot that in the foot. And I honestly would have liked to see like possibly like a better written interaction there. Yeah. It's not that it was like particularly bad,
like, kind of weak,
but it was kind of weak. And I think that could have given you the hope for her character to move forward in a positive way,
but
which
at the
is
same
kind of
time,
what you're rooting for.
Yeah. At the same time, you kind of have to like put yourself in like the Elizabeth Olsen, Wyatt Russell character's shoes and be like, if you were friends with this person that you like kind of trusted for, it was only like 3 weeks or something like. It was
and they kind of just started
kicking
her out of like their social life a little bit as soon as more interesting people came through.
So they were gross, dark people too, but who are also lying to get ahead.
Yeah,
but weren't. I don't know. They were trying to compare the two there, I think.
Yeah,
but
I just don't think the execution was.
Yeah.
That well, I feel like there was room for improvement there. movie endings are tough, man.
Yeah.
Like, so many movies are good until they get to the end, and then you're like, all right, you ruined it.
I do like that there wasn't like a moment of solace where Elizabeth Olsen was just like, well, we can be best friends. That would have been so hammy and bad.
I wouldn't have liked that.
I do like the idea that she's moved past that relationship and is now ready to take on the world with someone like, you know, with Lil Cube. I keep forgetting what his actual name is.
O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that. But
yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, and I like that they kind of say like, okay, now you can fill your life with people who actually care about you, rather than people who are just trying to get ahead and using you as a stepping stone.
Yeah,
and I think that's what they were kind of trying to go for. So
yeah,
whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Good movie.
Good movie. Should we get into we do a classic review every episode where we say 5 words we think represent the movie, a rating out of 10, and whether or not we recommend the film.
I think we should do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to start?
Sure.
I don't have 5 words either.
Hello, Ladies, but much better. There was an HBO show called Hello, Ladies, which was about Stephen Merchant and his inability to hit on women, and it was a show on HBO, and it kind of has the same kind of cringy humor where it's like, it's funny because you're so fucking uncomfortable. I'll show you the show. It's really fun. It's only like 1 season. It's a fucking great show. But it reminded me a lot of that, but like with a very modern twist, also kind of taking LA more into account than that one did. I think it was took place in LA. It was either in LA or New York, which is weird that I can't. Anyway, this movie for me, solid 8 out of 10. It does have that weird ending, and it felt a little rushed. It felt like that was kind of an afterthought, which, you know, is the main separating factor between a good movie and a great movie. Yeah, I definitely recommend you go and watch it. It's on Ryan's Plex.
So if I had to give this movie 5 words, it's Los Angeles is a character. We've watched a lot of movies like that lately.
Yeah.
So, or we watched 2 that really drove that home. I don't know. It was good, man.
It's definitely, it's fun because I feel like not enough movies do a lot of LA as a character stuff. And the last 2 movies, it's good to see, and I think it's a more dynamic city than New York is.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of movies that do New York like that too. It's interesting. I think New York is less relatable because people who are relatable to regular everyday strife can't live in New York because it's too goddamn expensive.
And also, like, New York's pretty consistent. Like, no matter what borough you're in, the struggles are kind of similar. Whereas LA is a lot of like smaller neighborhoods that are pretty separate, and so I feel like they can give themselves different aesthetics.
So, yeah, I don't know. This movie was pretty decent. I would say if you're able to find it, you should watch it because it was cool. I don't know. I liked it. I liked how I was a little turned away, like you said. They kind of really did reward the self-obsession of social media towards the end, which was a little...
It just seemed mixed on the message.
Yeah, it seems to like go back on everything that they were trying to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that was like the kind of the least great part. But Ingrid was an awesome character who right out the gate has like very relatable emotional goals, but they say like, this is the worst case scenario if you went on your gut instinct and just lied all the time. Just don't lie to people about who you are. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, it's fine.
People are gonna like you more if you're honest.
You're also gonna hate the people you hang out with if you lie about who you are.
Exactly. You're gonna end up hanging out with people who also lie about who they are. It's just how it goes. But like yeah, so just be honest, kids. Tell people the truth about who you are, because you don't need to lie.
Unless you're bald, in which case,
and then
lie to
get
yourself
a wig
all the time.
Get a wig. That is lying about not having hair.
This is you in a car screaming out the window.
Just get a wig! Get a wig, baldy! Oh my
Here
God.
you yelled at someone with a full head of hair. Did we talk about that on the podcast?
I don't know. We'll talk about it later. Let's save that story.
Okay. It just seems like you're being an asshole now. But we'll leave it on that. Rating out of 10.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a hard one to rate. I definitely enjoyed it all the way through, and from a simple level of enjoyment, I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It just like was good. The characters were good. Like
cast was good.
fun.
Yeah.
Cast was very good.
Shot pretty well.
Honestly, it was shot okay.
Yeah,
it wasn't like groundbreaking.
Yeah, they weren't reinventing the wheel, but it was shot like in a way that was.
It was shot competently.
It was shot in you know that way where you don't really notice how it's being shot because it
didn't take any risks.
Not incompetent, but also not great.
Yeah, they got some real good, like real Instagrammy looking shots of Joshua Tree.
Yep.
Yeah, and that stuff was like, I mean, it was beautiful, but it was also very bland, kind of like Wyatt Russell's art.
Yeah.
So
and beard.
Almost like I wonder if like that was the intention. I can't even tell now, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
I think that's the douchiest reason to have only okay cinematography. Is like it's the point of the movie.
Yeah,
don't you get it?
That means that it was just like a little weaker. Yeah, whatever. But cool. Hell yeah, guys! Thank you so much for listening.
Do you recommend it?
Yeah, I've totally recommend
it.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're gonna keep doing podcasts as long as we can, as long as the free media hasn't been destroyed, I guess.
Power to the people.
Yeah, until we live in a literal military dictatorship.
In which case, we will review only military movies. Your
only
Honor.
American movies.
Only movies about America,
the movies,
for America, and with Americans.
We're allowed to review Independence Day,
Armageddon,
only American, big American, the best movies, the best and the biggest.
The best American, Gone with the Wind,
Avatar.
Oh, The Last Airbender.
Only big American movies are we reviewing here now.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. Wait. What?
Well,
Ghostbusters 2.
For the States.
For the States.
So anyway, cool guys. We love you guys so much. Goodbye.
Do a toilet sound.